There we go. I'm back. Hey, look at that. Hey, sorry about that. Oh yeah, things got one little tip. It's a pro tip, so put that where you will. Um, if you have your entire rig set up to a switchable outlet, which I recognize is ridiculous, but because of the room I'm in, the only option. Don't forget to tell your mom when she's visiting not to turn the switch off so your whole system doesn't go down. So it's kind of a yeah. I mean, it can be an issue. I'm just saying it's an issue for some people. That might be an issue. All right, and let me know if the audio is okay because, like I said, things started and stopped again. Is it way low? Is it volume way low? Let's see. We'll turn the. I don't mind turning the volume way up. I can do that. But if I turn it up, does it make it better, louder? There we go. A little bit. A little bit. Is that better? Yeah, it's a pro tip. Oh, we're going to see that, Julie. Thanks for bringing it up. And hello, chat room, and welcome, and glad you could be here. I'm excited to see you again. It's nice to not be in a basement looking like I'm getting a mugshot. And so much to cover. Okay, first of all, when we last left our intrepid former leader kvetching about his reality, he was standing in a field in Ohio pretending to be relevant and boring the excrement out of his most faithful and devoted fans. Fans is a word? Fans? Are they do cults have fans? I don't know how that works. I suppose some operate like palm fronds on you. Maybe that. Thank you for the bits. Look at that. And did I froze? I froze? I didn't freeze. Did I? All right. Flight was long. We flew through Raleigh, had to change planes. It was a party. That's all I'm saying. Thank you, Erica. Hi. Hello. Thank you for the super chat. Super chats are a great way to help if you're hanging out in the YouTube world. If you're on Facebook, stars away. Please, with the stars. And then, of course, on Twitch, bits. And don't forget to subscribe. If you've forgotten to subscribe and you don't subscribe, subscribe. Especially when Mom's is carrying my show on, she's hosting me, and you might see it for the first time. Who can say? So it'd be a good time to follow and then decide if you like, and then join me. Yeah. So yes, missed you too. Sorry about the 2 missed days, but had great time with family. It was a good time. So thanks for being here and being forgiving about those moments, which we all need more of. So, all right. Oh, thank you so much, Nancy. So here we go. We'll just jump straight in because we got to pick. There's a lot of this nonsense left. And Trump made comments at the border today. I would do the thing at the little round table they had with Greg Abbott, but it's a little bit cheating because I saw a good portion of it. And it was the same old crap, but it was like even more boring. And the only thing funny about it seemed to be everybody else waiting for their turn to talk, and it never came. So it's just a lot of this. Yeah, and we'll. Mom, I'm casting in here. Right. All right. So welcome back to my underground bunker. I would be lying if I didn't mention by omission that I was shopping for bunkers. But not because I think the world's going to end, but because I think it ain't, and it would be a charming place to set up shop. And I was literally looking at like gutted silos. I'm operating in stages. Like before 666 Fifth Avenue, there will be 666 Rural Branch Road, middle of nowhere, empty silo. That might be the thing. I read that he talked about the stolen election between naps. Yeah, well, that's pretty much what this is. So, but let's finish the Wellington, Ohio rally. Where we last left him, what was he doing? He was blathering. He was definitely blathering.
I pushed them very hard.
Oh yeah. So this was about. He was at the vaccines and how he pushed the FDA, pushed them harder than they've probably been pushed in a long time and forever.
Very hard. But now if people are dying, they're terminally ill, instead of going to Asia, to Europe, to other countries to try and...
Oh, yeah. Beyond that, the other, Right to Try. He was on Right to Try. Remember a Right to Try? That was adorable.
Live.
Which is, by the way, a right to keep drug companies from being sued when they tested drug on a human being and it fails miserably and they pass away.
Which was not very successful, because we have the greatest doctors, scientists, and labs in the world. Now, if somebody's terminally ill and we have a cure that we think could be worked out good, but it's going to take 4 years, 5 years, they sign a document and they go and they take this new medication, whatever it may be, and it's been unbelievable.
Oxychloroquine, something.
Unbelievably successful. They've
Tide Pods, give it a shot.
Been trying to get it approved for 45 years.
Oleander dryer sheets, you just use them like Tux medicated.
We got it approved, but many, many things. What we've done for the vets, we had a 92% approval.
Used to.
Rating with the vets.
Until everybody found out that Obama passed the VA Choice Act. What was that? My lights went all dark. That was fun. Who's shutting my lights off? What's happening? Turn these back on. There's a crisscrossed wire. Oh, I get it. It was my, I thought the Lord was speaking to me. It was my Stream Deck coming online.
The vets, 92%. Nobody's ever had a rating like that. We turned it
92%, just in case you think you misheard.
All around under our administration.
Oh my God, it's louder too. I don't need it to be this loud. Oh God.
America was respected again. We were respected by other.
Yeah, we were respected. Putin would call him the morning after every single time.
Countries, you don't have these things that we already talked about. You would.
Thank you, Sweet Indigo.
Have had them go on if the election were not rigged. You wouldn't have that happening. They wouldn't be shooting thousands of missiles into Israel and all of the other things that...
They wouldn't be shooting thousands of missiles into Israel and all the other things. I mean, there's a ceasefire, and the Biden administration quietly using Egypt as a proxy negotiated that ceasefire. But it's disrespect. That's the only reason.
It was a sign of respect, you understand?
We talk about
the Palestinians, when I was in Palestine, they respected me. The Tatalians and the Bagazinis and the Palestinians, they respected what I had to say. They wouldn't open fire on us, on my boy. My boy.
Talk about it, and many that we're not going to talk about because...
Thank God.
Because we don't have...
The time?
3 nights. We have one beautiful night. It's windy as hell up here, I will tell you that, but it's beautiful.
No, it really isn't. Hey asshole, there are flags behind you, and they're flapping mildly.
Put this hat along, just in case. Here.
Case his entire wig comes off.
Just.
Oh, he threw it.
In case. I brought.
So it's windy as hell, but he threw the hat. All right.
But it is windy as hell up here.
But is the ramp slippery as hell? Is it like an ice skating rink?
We stood up to the enemies of America. We withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal, which was tremendous. Remember all the money, $150 billion and $1.8 billion in cash. $1.8 billion. Think of that. Crazy.
Okay, I'm thinking about it. Oh, what I could do with $1.8 billion. After I bought 666 Fifth Avenue, I still have like $8 left over. I'd go right down New York, and they sell nuts for nuts. I love those things. Almonds with, they're so good.
Crazy deal. And now,
crazy deal.
Now he wants to make it again.
Why are they sitting? Someone in the chat asked. Because they are bored.
We would have had a deal done with Iran in 1 week.
In a week, yeah. I mean, 2 weeks, well, 1 week obviously, if we had to postpone it for his health care plan to come out, it'd be like 3 weeks. But yeah.
Had the election not been rigged and stolen, 1 week, it would have been done. And other things would have been done too. We were set up so beautifully, and now all of it's going down the tubes because they don't know what the hell they're doing. We wiped out.
People, lock him up! Treason! They're talking about Joe Biden and or I guess everybody, all the Democrats, is a collective he. You know how a boat is a she?
Out ISIS, remember that? ISIS, remember? ISIS was
yeah, remember ISIS?
Taking over all over the Middle East. With the real generals, we wiped out ISIS. We knocked them out. We killed al-Baghdadi, the founder of ISIS, who was trying to build it again. And Qasem Soleimani, gone. He is the father of the roadside bomb that killed so many of our soldiers. He's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, never occurred to anyone to make an IED until he came along.
And he was killed. We fully rebuilt the United States.
I mean, Osama bin Laden, but, you know, I understand.
Military, created.
There was a big casino, Soleimani, sure.
It's Space Force. Everybody laughed.
Space Force! And everybody laughed. Oh, God. Wait, listen.
Built the United States military, created Space Force. Everybody laughed.
We created Space Force and everybody laughed.
Everybody laughed.
I mean, it's bad enough. Like,
he's gone. He was killed. We fully rebuilt the United States military.
Military? It's hard to say military without your, like, sends a chill down my spine when you say military.
It's Space Force. Everybody laughed. Everybody laughed. Remember when...
Uh-huh. Oh, my God. Bikers in the front row are bored to death. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Enrique.
The press secretary with the extremely red hair, remember when she said... She laughed at when Space Force was mentioned. She laughed. Remember that? And she got decimated.
Yeah, no, it's like she can't even show up for... Oh, she was at work today.
By everybody when she laughed, because we need Space Force. You know,
we need Space Force, okay?
Russia's up there, big league, and China's up there, big league, and we were just sitting around watching them, and now we have overtaken them in space. It's great. It's great. Already, during my term.
Yeah, we never had a head start on China and Russia. Holy hell.
But they'll blow that too. And we got our...
But they'll blow that too.
allies to pay their fair share when it came...
Said big leg. Yeah, big league. Yeah. Big league, by the way, comes from him screwing up the phrase big league. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate it. That's the... Yeah.
To our defending them and NATO. I got $430 billion from them. They weren't paying. I said to other countries, nice countries.
Yeah, screwing up the pandemic. Hi, Robert, thank you. You look like a hostage in the other video. I know.
But why should they pay if we're not asking? I said, you're delinquent, like a real estate deal. You're delinquent.
Oh, that's a phrase he's familiar with.
They said, would you leave if we don't pay? I said, yes, because I have to say that. If I said no, they're not going to pay, right? We got $430 billion. We were paying, in my opinion, close to 100% of the...
In your opinion? What do you mean? How, is it a number or not? What does your opinion have to do with math?
Defense of European nations who, excuse the language, screw us on trade. So they take advantage of us on trade, and we defend them for nothing. And in the case of Germany, Germany pays Russia billions and billions of dollars for the pipeline. And yet...
No, they buy oil that's going to be coming from the pipeline, in theory.
We defend them against Russia. I said to Angela, who I like a lot, actually. I get along with her actually good. I got along with her very good, but she's tough. And she
got along with her well, you mean? Oh, but just say good. It's better for your crowd.
She's smart, and she takes advantage of the United States. I said, so Angela, we defend you from a country that you're giving billions and billions of dollars to a month. How does that work, Angela? And she just smiled. She just smiled. She knows. We recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, and at the same time recognize Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights. So we're working on that for 54 years. And we made historic peace deals in the Middle East that nobody thought were even possible. And frankly, if we were there, I think we'd have it totally wrapped up. But I don't see any signs of
yeah, the war between Israel and Bahrain would have ended by now.
Progress with these people. In fact, they want to go back to negotiating with Iran. It's just not even believable. But now Joe Biden is squandering all of this hard-earned respect that we have or had.
Yeah, or both. We have it. He can't say we have it because present tense is a problem. But watch for his eyes when he tries to go back to the teleprompter after a ramble. It's a joy.
Bowing down to America's enemies and embarrassing our country on the world stage. You saw that. It was an embarrassment.
Sorry, what?
Our country on the world. Bowing down to America's enemies and embarrassing our country on the world stage.
Bowing down to our, let's see. Trump. Sorry, what? Sorry, what? Sorry, who? Bowing to who? Bowing to who? I see. All right, just clarifying. To our enemies, I see.
You saw that. It was an embarrassment. And yet the fake news said, he reminded me of FDR. I'll never forget it. I watched the semi-State of the Union. It was sort of a weird State of the Union, you know. Nancy Pelosi had the single largest mask I've ever seen on a human being. It's true. It's the biggest. She had a mask that went up to here. I don't know if it was 3 masks or 1, but it was the biggest mask I've ever seen. But I'll never forget, I watched, and I...
It's a real zinger. I mean, if I was Nancy Pelosi, I would just pack it up.
I said, that's sad. I said, he's going to be killed by the media. Then I turned on to fake news CNN and MSDNC, and they said, Fox hasn't been so great either, have they? Huh?
No.
And they said, I thought he was just going to get it was a terrible evening. And honestly, if I do a bad speech, I'll tell you it was a bad, that's okay. But I don't do bad speeches, do I? I don't think so. No.
No, this one's going very well.
Actually, my best speeches, I get the best reviews when I don't use these suckers, you know, they're too easy. Especially when they're blowing in the wind. Great job, fellas, by the way. You really made them nice. I got this teleprompter that's waving like the American flag, proudly. Great job. Great.
Hi, asshole. Way to shit on the workers who set this up. Neither one of them are moving at all. And, dude, turn it. The sign is, I know you're trying to help, but just maybe.
Sometimes you have no choice to just wing it. You have to wing it because you have a teleprompter that's moving so rapidly.
Yeah, that's what it is. Holy shit.
But, you know, I watched this speech that he made, and I said, man, he's going to get just decimated. This thing is a disaster. And I turned on to a couple of the competing networks, call them, and they're saying, not since FDR has there been a speech like this. You know, FDR was, I thought he had a magnificent presence, right?
Yeah, tell us about it. I'm sure you watched a lot of FDR-related stuff.
He would sit up there.
He would sit? Uh-huh.
And his voice was beautiful and booming and elegant.
One moment, please. Let's see. What's a good one? This is a good one. Hold on. Pop this in. Rolling.
This is a talk on national security, because the nub of the whole purpose of your president is to keep you now and your children later and your grandchildren much later
Yeah.
out of a last-ditch war for the preservation of American independence and of all the things that American independence means to you and to me and to ours.
Yep. Yeah. Big, booming. Yeah, commanding. I hear you.
And you remember so many of his phrases, right? The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Yeah, so that's why you mock him with, you only have to fear. Oh, right on. Thanks, Robert.
It was said so beautiful. Think of that, the way it was said. You always remember it. You can't forget
Yeah, you can't forget it. The way it was said with like words in that order.
it. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself. Okay. And they were comparing Biden to FDR. They are fake. They are so fake and so pathetic, and there's so many of them up there.
There are not a lot of them, by the way. There's very few cameras covering his speech. There's like, there used to be a big wall of cameras. Now there's like less than a half a dozen, like maybe 4 or 5. They all peg off each other.
So many of them.
Boo the people who came to cover his speech. It's just wrestling now. I mean, it's honestly. I do enjoy FDR's mid-Atlantic accent. Ladies and gentlemen, at some point when I run for president, I believe it's very important that we return as a nation to a time when we spoke like this. And I will say potato, and we'll call it a day.
And they're hurting our country very badly. Honestly, they're hurting our country because they're not real. They're not real.
They're chanting CNN sucks. There's a little kid right back there. His mom's happily got him chanting CNN sucks. Oh, and his brother, and they're both dressed alike. Because at a Trump rally, you could go, you know, it's very likely that one of the children might go missing, and therefore it's better to have one like, he's wearing these. He looks just like him, only smaller.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You can't even hear it. They're not, what do you mean, thank you?
Are we having a good time, by the way?
Oh, boy. That's a right after the drum solo. We've already played the hits. What the hell else are we going to play? We don't know any other songs moment.
You know, the subject matter is somewhat depressing, in all fairness, because what happened to us on November 3rd should never, ever happen again, should never be allowed to happen again.
I agree. I don't think you should ever be allowed to run for office. And had Republicans had a spine and actually voted the way they believed instead of just out of fear of these nudniks, yeah, that would have been the case.
Biden and the Democrats are weak on China, weak on Iran, weak on trade, weak on the economy, and weak on everything else.
Yeah, just everything. I mean, they are literally weak. They're weak on they're weak on snacks.
Except for weaponizing law enforcement to go after Republicans.
So if CNN is being sucks is being chanted and there's no CNN, does it make a sound? No, it does not. They were not there to cover this. I think they just took a tap off C-SPAN in case anything happened.
That's the only thing they're strong on. Shortly after taking office, Joe Biden even canceled the U.S. government investigation into the origins of the virus in a China lab. Do you remember?
What? I mean, like, there's a bunch of stuff where he's like playing fast and loose. There's no one has stopped the investigation. He hasn't stopped the investigation. What is the source on that at all? Like, he's mentioned this a couple of times. I, honest to God, don't know what the hell he's talking about, like where he got it from. But does it matter?
Remember when I said,
like, does it matter where he got it from? Because it's probably, I mean, did Sebastian Gorka whisper it to him and went, I think he will obviously say it.
It comes out of Wuhan, it comes out of the lab. They went crazy. Now they're
which he didn't.
saying most likely it came out of the Wuhan lab. Unlike Biden, I believe that China owes the world and the United States trillions and trillions of dollars, and they have to pay. They have to pay.
That dude in the hat, man, is all in on that Chinese reparations thing.
And as you can...
Oh, Donald Rumsfeld passed away? Well, I guess he will now be able to stare into the face of the unknown unknown. He went to my high school, by the way. I was instrumental with some other alumni to keeping them from putting a bust of his head in front of the school.
You can see, and you've seen over the last 3 weeks, the media and the...
I didn't. I was shopping and feeding my kids.
Democrats are now...
Before like, earlier today.
Now admitting that I was right about everything. You know, the election's over. Now, we won the election anyway, but the election's over, so they don't care. They don't care. Now they're saying, well, you know, he was right about these things. That's all right. Big deal, right?
Is that what they're saying?
Big deal. They lied about so many things before the election, and it's not only what they said, it's also what they didn't say.
What didn't they say?
Like Hunter. Remember, where's Hunter? Where's Hunter?
Yeah, that didn't work. I mean, have you ever seen, I'm just curious, have you ever seen a political candidate who had a line they used during the campaign that failed miserably, bring it up afterwards like as a name drop, the Where's Hunter thing? Remember Where's Hunter? Remember we used to say Where's Hunter? Remember Where's Hunter?
The virus came from a Chinese lab. Hydroxychloroquine actually works.
No.
Remember?
No.
Remember?
No.
I made a mistake on hydroxy. I should have said, hydroxychloroquine is a disaster. Please do not use it, they would have said. Instead, I said it works. And now reports are coming out that it works.
No, they're not.
Probably destroyed a lot of lives.
No, they didn't.
Hunter Biden's laptop was real. That was an easy one, wasn't it?
Really? Was it? Do you have a picture of it? You got these giant screens. Show it. I stand by my, after months of listening to this idiot and listening to Rudy Giuliani and watching all of his videos, I am firmly on the side of there is no laptop. It doesn't exist. Period. End of story.
Wasn't it? Lafayette Square was not cleared for a photo op. It wasn't. You know, they tried to burn down the church the day before. We got lucky to stop them. They tried. The basement was on fire. The Russian bounty...
Yeah, apparently that's what happens when you hold a Bible upside down in front of it and you're demonic, as it catches, it causes, you know, it's like a Rosemary's Baby kind of exorcist thing. It causes the basement of a church to catch fire.
The story was a total fake by these guys. Look, the cameras are starting to go off. Oh, the cameras are going off.
Yeah, that's a gag too. Asshole, you just pointed at RSBN. They never turn their cameras off. I like this line of attack. Oh, God, it's so boring.
Better speak fast. Those cameras are going off. They don't like this. They don't like this speech.
Well, I mean, obviously, because it's a rambly mess. I like it because it's hilarious. But yeah, they need some more sound bites. Try mispronouncing more stuff.
You know, you have the
Say law and auto again.
nice red light at the beginning of the camera. That thing was lit up. All of a
Oh, and Fox, by the way, did cover his thing with Abbott, but got out when he started complaining about the election.
sudden, those suckers are off so fast. Don't worry, they'll go back. You know why they go back? Because they get great ratings when we do these things.
No.
They'll go back. They'll wait till this section is over. They don't want to talk about certain things. You know what they especially don't want to talk about?
What?
The election of 2020, because it's just too easy, too close to home. The first vaccine was known to be effective before the election.
Oh, Trump won. Yeah, no, he didn't. Just to clarify, I just want to just make sure, in case there's some sort of YouTube algorithm that's playing. No, he didn't. They're yelling Trump won, or one Trump. Apparently, one Trump to rule them all. They believe he's gone. I love how they're yelling it at the camera like, I'll show you, and it's RSBN and Newsmax and those guys.
Remember when they wouldn't report that the vaccine was effective before the election?
Oh, you're going to start losing them now.
Right after the election, the big vaccine story, it was the greatest thing ever. But before, they wouldn't report it. They wouldn't report it. Blue state lockdowns don't work. They didn't want to talk about it. And our children should be back in school. They don't want to talk about that either.
They did talk about it. We talked about it a lot. The new administration talked about it a lot. Kids are going back to school this fall. I still don't understand that part of it either.
We were also right about Joe Biden and the Democrats' extremism on open borders, on socialism, on taxes, on energy, on the Green New Deal hoax. That's the next hoax, you have.
The Green New Deal hoax?
The
Oh, you mean that it's actually a bill?
crime of the century, which I consider to be the election of 2020. I consider that, because you look at all the people that are dying on the border, you look at all of the bad things that are happening to our country, I consider it to be the crime of the century. But the Green New Deal is a crime because it's a total con job. Everybody knew this during the campaign, but the fake news media refused to talk about it because they will say and do anything to destroy our great MAGA movement.
MAGA movement. I'm fairly certain he poops whenever he says that. I don't know what that last little chunk meant. I don't think you do either. Don't feel bad if you're like, I heard sentences, but none of it actually had any meaning.
Which is a movement based on strength and peace and law and order.
Unless you're a Capitol, officer, or you're the next Timothy McVeigh.
And above all else, it's a movement based on common sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Based on Rudy's common sense. It's a movement. Right. This is so... Okay, so why is it common sense? I can't wait. Please tell me.
Common sense.
It's common sense, folks. It's common sense. It might... it's obviously uncommon. Their kind of sense, or lack thereof, is very... it's very common in that field. What's the common sense?
There's never been a movement like it. There has never been,
Well, that's not entirely true. The beer pushers, I think in 1939, Luxembourg.
Over the years, I've seen people, if they did fairly well in a primary 30 years ago, they become stars fairly well. We won the election twice. And it's possible
No, he didn't. But this is fun.
we'll have to win it a third time. It's possible.
Yeah, run again. Please run again. It's a guy with a shirt that says, I identify as vaccinated.
You know, a certain reporter said to me,
Sir.
not on our side, there's a very
No, of course not. Are there any reporters on your side?
liberal person,
I mean, there might have been about Fox, but
but sort
besides Chanel Rayon.
of an honest person, said to me, you know, I've been covering elections for a long time, long time. I've never seen anything like the election of 2020. You had 58 rallies. The average crowd had to be 25, 30. Look at tonight. I mean, look at this. This is not even election territory other
No, it's not even, it's just what's
than
left.
you got to get Mike and Max in there, and Max is going to be in a little while longer. Mike, don't forget, August 3rd. But think of it. He said, I've never seen anything like it, where you'd have a rally some days on one-day notice, and you'd have 30, 40, 50,000. Butler, Pennsylvania, 58,000 people on a couple of days, right?
Yeah, they drive in from other states. Yeah. I mean, there's millions of people in each of these surrounding states. 5,000 lunatics and nobody's working. Sure. Every state's got a few.
And we're up by so much, and then the next day they say, Trump lost Pennsylvania. Not possible, right?
Yes,
Not
very
possible.
Thank you, Bean Tones.
We had 58,000 people in a
And Trump is not still receiving classified info. No.
beautiful, small community in Pennsylvania show up on a couple of days' notice, right? Showed up. And then they say, like, Biden's coming to town. And they have 8 circles, right? And they can't fill them. So they go back and they get the fake news. Could you please stand in a circle? And they get reporters to stand in it. And then they say, Trump lost Pennsylvania. No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, see, there were a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden who understood at the height of the pandemic, especially, that it was not advisable to go out and stand in large crowds. And there was a small but vocal minority of Americans who were Trump supporters and stupid enough to go stand shoulder to shoulder at the super spreader events, even though Herman Cain had just kicked, and to keep doing it, going to multiple ones, hoping they could catch the strain that Trump had, because that's magic, y'all. Oh, August 3rd is the vote for Max Wheeler, or whatever his name is. Yeah.
I don't think so. I think all you have to do is look at every stat, and it's all coming out now, you know?
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, just wait.
And people are coming forward. People are coming forward like never before. You're seeing what's happening, or you soon will see what's happening.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet, but it's going to happen. I mean, you might think that you've seen it all, but it's not even close.
But think of it,
I'm thinking
75 million voters. The same reporter said, you know, it was incredible. Whether you're on your side or the other side, we've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. He said, what was the difference between 2016?
He says this, by the way, at the gathering of him and Abbott at the border as well. He told the same analogy, but I don't think he said it was a reporter at that one. He may have said it was somebody like a very smart person who knows campaigns.
2016 when you won, and 2020 when you lost. I said, the difference was we did much better the second time. It's true. You know,
yes, because mail-in voting works, and you lost the popular vote at a rate that was adjusted to the volume of voters makes total sense.
I was told that we got 63 million votes, right? I was told that if we get 65 by the best pollster, one of the great pollsters, you have a few of them that are really good, but John
who was that?
McLaughlin, he said, sir, if you get 65, meaning if you go up 2, now most presidents go down. Obama went down. He went down much lower the second time. He got fewer votes.
Yeah, but we didn't have uniform mail-in voting, and we also had people like Brian Kemp limiting the turnout on purpose So, yeah.
It's the second time, far fewer. And I understand that, that's the way it works. But we went up 12 million, but I was told if we go up 2 million, we win. We went up 12 million, and we so-called lost, but we didn't lose. We didn't lose.
Yeah, keep telling them.
We didn't lose.
No. Dude, keep at it.
But I said the big difference is that we did much better the second time. And think of it.
I agree. It was much better the second time when you lost.
63 million compared to almost 75 million. And don't forget, that's 75 million. What's the real number? With all of the shenanigans, what's the real?
You're right. The real number is probably closer to 63 million. I mean, obviously, between Texas, Ohio, and Florida, and those Republican governors and the control they had over at the ES&S machines and Q-Snatch. Don't forget the Q-Snatch.
Q-Snatch. It's a malware called Q-Snatch.
What? Yeah. So just to clarify.
The real number.
Just for the record, so every time Mike Lindell asserts that dead people voted or underage people voted or any of that, I stick to my belief that they all voted for Trump and he lost by a lot more. Because if they're gonna make shit up, why does the fictional stuff they always make up seem to benefit Biden and go against Trump? If a bunch of dead people voted, why would I believe that they voted for the challenger and not the incumbent, who has all the power in an election to control every aspect of it?
The socialist.
I mean, it's because of mail-in voting. It's people voted more.
Democrats see this better than anyone else. They know exactly what went on, and they don't want to talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. You know, it's interesting. Hillary Clinton.
It's almost like they're not interested in you anymore.
Can complain about the election. By the way, she is the single most unhappy person in the United States because she said, "Why didn't you do that for me? Why didn't you create votes for me?"
Because no one created votes for either one.
Because she said, "I was much closer."
Yeah, he doesn't, folks, I know you feel that way, but for the record, he has no power. I feel like Glinda. You've got no power here. Be gone. Ooh, before someone drops a house on you. Whap, 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 whap. Honestly, should we at least have, like, that, like, look at his face.
Bad things. Bad.
Yeah, bad.
Bad things. Why didn't you create her for Hillary Clinton? I do ask that question. Actually, the truth is, we got him by surprise in 2016. And in 2020, they planned for 4 years. They said, this is not going to happen again. They planned it out. Earlier this...
So during the 4 years you were president, they were planning, they executed the crime of the century, his words. The Democrats now control the media, big tech, corporations, and the White House, and the Senate, and the House. And yet this asshole thinks he should be in charge because he knows how to run things.
This year, the Biden administration issued new rules pushing twisted critical race theory into classrooms across the nation and also into our military. Our generals and our admirals are now focused more on this nonsense than they are on our enemies. You see these generals lately on television?
Oh, yeah? Yeah, these generals. You know, these generals on television.
They are woke. They're woke. Our military will be incapable of fighting and incapable of taking orders. You're going to tell...
Yeah, America first, you know.
Some private, stand up. You stand up right now. I'm not standing up. You can't talk to me that way, General. We're going to have a whole different ballgame here. I don't know how they're going to work that out. The private's going to tell the general, don't you ever speak to me that way, General. I'll kick your ass. That's our military.
Is it? That's our military? That's the kind of people that join the military, according to Donald Trump? Adorable.
That's where we're going. Woke. I know some of these guys. Boy, they changed quickly. They went right over to the other side. I heard that about a couple of them. The military brass have become
Oh, really? That they go both ways?
weak and ineffective leaders, and our enemies are watching and they're laughing. We need a Republican Congress to ban critical race theory. You know, I had it banned through executive order, and it was fine. And then when we didn't get in, they immediately reinstituted it. But where's it all gone?
Where's all gone? Come on, Zizza. Where's all gone, guys? Where's it gone? Where's all gone? The what now?
Fine. And then when we didn't get in, they immediately reinstituted it. But where's it all gone?
Well, where's the all gone? You know?
But they have to get it out of our schools, and they have to ban it in our workplaces, and ban it in our states, and ban it in federal agencies,
You know, in the name of freedom.
and ban it in our military. Maybe
That's right. And if
most
there's any books about it, make sure we set fire to them.
importantly. In addition, if government-run schools are going to teach children to hate our country and racism, parents must be given the power to opt out of the horrible, horrible schools. They're being forced to send their kids to these schools, and we have to provide school choice, and we were a long way to getting it. The radical left is trying.
You're a long way to getting it. Never did, though. Can we check off the promises not kept part of this list?
Trying to rip our nation apart, and there is no depth to which they will not sink. You've seen it, and you've seen
Not sink.
it strongly.
You've seen it, and you've seen it strongly.
Which
What?
they will not sink. You've seen it, and you've seen it strongly. Just can't have it. There's no better example than the election that we talk about
Oh my
so
God.
proudly because we did so
problem,
well. The
Sasha.
2020 presidential election was rigged. We won the election in a landslide. You know it. I know it. And you know who else knows it? The fake news knows it.
That's no way to talk about RSBN and Newsmax, the only people covering this ridiculousness. And me. I mean, obviously, you know, I'm real news though. You can't argue with me at all because I show the whole thing, even when it's boring and tired and annoying.
Democrats and their allies in big tech and in the fake news media viciously did everything possible to deny our victory and to delay the count till they could figure out how many votes were needed to drag Joe Biden across the finish line. You know,
Yeah, he basically, you were limping with a stitch in your side as he crossed the finish line with his arms up.
know that. Now they censor, conceal, and smear you. If you look into the election today, you know, I saw the other day where they were saying, we are going to look into the election. I said, that's great. No, they're not looking into that. They're looking into the people that want the truth. They're not looking into the election.
No,
the
definitely not.
election was the lie. That was the big lie. You know, they talk about the big lie. They always say, while it is totally
sorry,
disproven,
Paige.
you know, every sentence they say, well, it's no, it's totally disproven in the opposite way. But
Yes, that's how English works.
the big lie is what took place on the evening and the morning, November 3rd, November 4th, November 5th.
Yes, the big lie did take place on those days and in the days afterwards and at this rally.
And they know it, and they don't want to talk about it. You ever notice, though, I was going to say, so Hillary Clinton's allowed to talk about it, right?
Oh, good Lord.
Stacey Abrams, she said she won for governor. By the way, we might have been better if she did win for governor of Georgia, if you want to know the truth. We might have had a better governor if she did win. But
Yes, agreed.
Stacey Abrams goes around saying she won the election. Nobody.
Oh yeah, I don't have the QR code up for that. I'm using a different software and I haven't put it in here yet. Thank you for noticing though. PayPal.me/HalSparks.
Hillary Clinton says she won the election. Nobody says anything. I say we won the election. That's terrible. That's terrible. Isn't it
Yeah, she didn't try to interrupt it at all.
a terrible situation?
It's terrible.
All these geniuses are running for office, and They're doing good, and we're going to introduce them in a couple of seconds, and we're having a good time, and we'll just keep it going. Should we keep it going or get the hell out of here? For the first time in history, they mass mail tens of millions of absentee ballots and ballot applications to every person on the rolls, dead or alive, legal or illegal, resident or non-resident of our country. They installed millions of dollars worth of illegal, unmanned Dropboxes. How about these Dropboxes where there were 96% for Joe Biden? The vote was 96 for Biden, and some of them showed up very, very late. They say, where are they? Oh, they come the next day. 96% for Biden. And, you know, I was told...
At this point, this goes to like the 92% with the VA. Like, he just chooses a number in the 90s and then just makes it up.
That you can give $5,600.
Yeah, Julie, this is amazingly dumb.
But Zuckerberg gave $500 million to all of this stuff. Now, that's legal, right? That's legal? I don't think so.
Yes, because it's bipartisan. It's nonpartisan. It's just the available machinery, the available Dropboxes to pay for it, because a lot of constituencies didn't have that money. Could be a federal law where the federal government guarantees the funds necessary, but yeah, somebody's holding that up in the Senate. I can't think of who.
So, and the whole Lockbox scam, that's another thing. That's just one of many things they did.
Yeah. Tell us the Lockbox scam. Al Gore was involved, right?
In fact, what happened here is what the State Department used to criticize in communist countries. Illegal use of absentee ballots. They went after...
Yeah, that's what we used to... That was our big hang-up with Stalin and Khrushchev. And, man, the absentee ballot thing in Berlin. China, don't get me started.
Very strongly. Opposition observers ejected. They would take the opposition observers like they did in Detroit, and they did in Atlanta, and they did in Philadelphia, where you had more votes than you had voters. Other than that, it was a very good election, but you had more votes.
Like, that's just dumb. I don't know. Again, somebody just told him that, and he's just repeating it as if it's the law.
Votes than you had voters. Other than that, it was wonderful. But they did a North Korean-style turnout. This is what they talked about. Illegal.
Wait, do the North Koreans get to vote? I think you want an Iraq-style turnout. If you're going to use the analogy, do the North Koreans vote? Hold on. I'm just going to... Okay, so they have parliamentary elections. Here's 2019. The Supreme election of deputies to the 14th was held in North Korea in March 2019. Elections were announced on the 6th, with only one candidate on the ballot in each constituency. Okay, so they run against no one. They run unopposed, unlike you. Who
legally altered vote tabulation data. All of these things, this is what they used to talk about. These things happened, they said, in Ukraine in 2004. Now, to a large extent, they happen here. We'll prove it. We'll be out there fighting. You have incredible American patriots.
Totally. I mean, we think they're American. No one's checking their ID or anything. The dude in Montana could, there could be anybody on his farm. No one's allowed to even look. But we'll trust you. Just Americans, right?
You have incredible American patriots. I saw one here. I didn't even know he was coming. Where is Mike? The Pillow Man. Where is he?
Mike the Pillow Man.
I saw him.
Lindell is his last name. Please have him come up on stage with you.
Mike Lindell.
Please have him come up. Please invite him up. Please, both of you together.
It's amazing. He's out there fighting. He is a patriot, and he's got people fighting with him. They are really patriots. And, I think on behalf, look at the crowd. They're going up. I'm not sure that even Jim got as big a hand as you, okay? But they're going up. Look at this crowd going as far as the eye can see. Yeah,
a big hand, but security.
They're all giving you a standing ovation, so we appreciate it, Mike.
Well, not all of them. Obviously, those folks are sitting, and these folks are sitting, and those folks up there are sitting, and most of the people around you are sitting. Actually, those folks are sitting. But all is a subjective word. I mean, if you use common sense, all means some.
We appreciate it. But there's mountains, there's Mike, but as many people will tell you, including the gentleman that spoke before you this evening, I understand.
Whatever his name is.
There's just mountains of evidence, including on camera in the middle of the night when ballots were pulled from under the tables. You saw that? After Republican poll watchers were kicked the hell out of the counting rooms. You saw that with the woman with the tables. They said, there is a massive water main leak. Everybody leave. They all ran out for their lives. They ran out so fast. And then this group of people came in.
Just hold on one second, if I may. Water main leak. Let's just try it. Just in case, you know. This is the, there was a huge thing and they all ran out. Right. Social media users are using surveillance footage of poll workers from Election Day in Georgia and reports of a pipe leak to push unproven claims of fraud. And the president, online post claimed the election workers pulled out suitcases full of ballots. That part was breaking. This is when the dump of Biden votes happened, reads a December 4th Facebook post by Hip Hop Patriot. After they evacuated the building due to a red tsunami pipe break and stopped counting, video proof shows the workers pulling votes of ballots in the dump happened at the exact same time. Weird, huh? The dam has now cracked. Same claim has been reposted by Facebook users all over the place. Fact check, pipe leak delays vote counting, no ballots damaged. A pipe burst did take place at a ballot processing site at the State Farm Arena. However, no ballots were damaged. According to election officials, the broken water pipe did cause a delay. That was 2 hours in the morning. In Fulton County's ability to process thousands of absentee by mail votes, Fulton Commission Chairman Rob Pitts told the Journal-Constitution that the pipe burst occurred at 6:07 a.m. and was repaired within 2 hours. We've covered this before, but just in case you need a refresher. Around 6 a.m. on November 3rd, a pipe burst in the room at the State Farm Arena where absentee ballots were processed. Arena staff swiftly completed repairs. Work resumed in approximately 2 hours. No ballots or equipment were damaged. Chief investigator, so there were no ballots counted. As of 10:15 p.m. on Election Day, Fulton County was displaying results from more than 170,000 votes, and election officials are expecting the majority of the ballots to be counted on November 3rd, including roughly 315,000 early in-person votes. So, yeah, anyways, I mean, we've looked at this before. This is but it's nothing like the hits.
And then they started stuffing the ballot boxes. That's all it was.
That's what
it's a terrible thing. That was in Georgia.
They stuffed the ballot boxes at that point, even though we were past the part of ballot boxes, and the accusation was that they were taking things out.
They said everything was so wonderful. And by the way, now they're saying they're going to delete over 100,000 names. I said, why the hell didn't you delete them before the election, not after?
Because if you don't vote in 2 elections, then they delete you because you're no longer an active voter. So if you skip 2 elections, you don't vote. So all the 100,000 that were deleted did not vote in 2020. Did not vote in 2020. The 100,000 people on the rolls that they are deleting currently, that he is talking about, did not vote in 2020. Did not. They didn't vote. That's why, because they also didn't vote in 2018. So they didn't vote in 2018, they didn't vote in 2020, and then they broom you because they did not vote.
After the election. Right? Why didn't they do that?
Sorry, is the
Didn't
audio
they
out?
do it before the election?
Sorry, hold on.
Ballots were wheeled
One
in
moment.
through back doors and swing states.
Oh, shut up. Audio is off. I don't like it when that happens.
Days after the election, they had no...
Why does it do that? Very strange. Huh. Yeah, there's like a momentary... Is it way out of sync? Rats. Let's see. Hold on. Let me do this. Let's see. Take this guy, and there we go. See if it brings it back. I don't know. It's possible. There could be a loopback issue. Let me do this. Turning this off. Okay. Check, check, check. Did that help? Did that fix it? 5-second delay. That's weird. Check 1. Check it 2. All right. It's like 20 seconds. That's very strange. Hold on 1 second. Let me see if... Sometimes it's a factor of like 5 seconds. Bonk.